What's going on, everyone? Today we're comparing Switch 1 games to Switch 2 versions. So I got a couple of different games to test here. Mario Odyssey, New Super Mario Bros., Super Mario 3D World, a lot of Mario. Wonder doesn't have a free update, but it did get an update that said it supported it, so I'm going to try that. We have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, that one's digital. And then also 3D All-Stars said it got something. So, some of these I can do on both because I got 2 cartridges, and other ones I can't. So I'm going to try my best, see what we can do. But I know everyone's been waiting for freaking Pokemon, and we all want to see that one, so let's start with that. Okay, so I think once I transferred my save data, it doesn't have the save data on here, and it does on the Switch 2, so I'm going to try to compare this as best as I can. Wow, that's loud. But these speakers are really good. But you can probably tell in a game like this, but I will try to get to the same area to try to compare. You're just gonna have to bear with me here, but anyway. Oh my gosh. Dude, 60 FPS Pokemon is insane. Oh my gosh. Wait, is this? This game runs so horribly that 60 FPS on this game looks like 120, I'm not even lying. Holy moly. Okay, this is in the DLC, so we're gonna fly. Okay, I'm just taken away. Sorry, we're gonna go to Paldea. We'll just fly to the very first area, I guess. Just try to compare it. Oh, okay, let me leave the building. Hang on, let me figure this all out. Okay, so we can obviously tell, well, as far as I know, this looks like 1080p, 60 FPS, but freaking, you can obviously tell these pumpkin textures still look like dog. Which is just kind of funny how well it runs now, and it still kind of looks like a potato. I'm not complaining. PS2 game graphics. But man, I'm going to show handheld and docked, but handheld is night and day. Night and day. This is not even the same game anymore at this point. It's a freaking remaster for free, but anyway. Let's go to the main school area. I'm going to show this on the Switch one as well, as best as I can. And try to compare the two. I mean, it's pretty obvious to tell in Pokemon. This is the most obvious one of them all. This video might be kind of long, but it's gonna be a journey. I mean, look. There's not super, like, pixely edges. I mean, I'll show this on a bigger screen. Maybe it'll look better, but, like, holy moly, man. This just doesn't even look like the same game. I mean, look, everything's running. It's not blowing up when I spawn Miraidon in. And Boost doesn't just chug. There's actually people being rendered. I mean, they still kind of pop in, but it's not like as jarring. I mean, holy moly, man. Insanity. You know what else? Other area, that one Lauder area. Where is it over here? This is just insane. I'm gonna replay this whole game on the Switch 2 because it's like I said, bro. It feels like a remaster. You understand? Still gonna make the video in here. Holy, look at the sky, that orange. This is on HDR as well. It won't really show well on video, but this display in HDR makes it look like freaking OLED, bro. It's insane. Like, obviously, look at the background here. It doesn't look good, okay? This game, no matter what you do, it's just not a very good looking game. However, the performance in, like, Pokemon models and, like, character models do actually look really good. That was like the shining part of that. And look how many Pokemon render at once. The OG version would not do this. Imagine I get a shiny while this video's on. I mean, everything, like, while stuff is spawning in, it's not just breaking the game. You don't understand the difference that makes. Like, this game, I feel like, actually looks like a game that you would play. I love this game, but, bro, you don't understand how bad it was, especially at launch of performance. It was not good at all, and this lake is just flying through it, no problems at all, so, yeah. Definitely check out Pokemon on here. I'm going to show all of these games that I show in this video on the docked mode just to see how it is, but yeah, that's it for handheld mode. Let's move on to the next game. Well, once I show the Switch one in comparison. Okay, I know it's nighttime in one game and not in the other. This is the closest comparison I can probably get here, but, this is OG. Switch version. See these pumpkins still don't look good no matter what, but this grass really doesn't look good. And then we go down here, minus the frame rate just looking way better. This bush is actually higher res. Might be just because the game is rendering at a higher resolution, that's why the textures are higher. But yeah, it's more clear. The image quality, like on those trees, it's definitely higher on Switch 2 in comparison. I know it's really hard to see. I'm doing the best I can here. Definitely have a big boy screen instead. But yeah, I mean, you get the point. You know how much better this is gonna look. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that. But yeah, this looks way better, way smoother. Still have popping like that trainer there. And this is maybe 720p at the best. This game has DRS, but the frame rate, I don't know if you can see it, but it's just the aliasing as well. It just does not look very good at all. This little micro stutter. But yeah, you get the point. Let's move on to the next game. You've seen enough Pokemon. Okay, we're gonna do a little load test here. Press A at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Going to go into the 3D world first. Let's see what happens here. Yep. It loaded like a second faster. Wait, okay, I don't know. Maybe Pokemon Scarlet just didn't have save data. Maybe I deleted it. I don't know. It does keep your save data on your Switch 1, in case you're wondering. Something must have just happened with mine. I'm gonna go Luigi. Now this game on the OG Switch in docked is 1080-60, and on this it should be. I don't know. I mean, handheld it's 1080p 60 now instead of 720, so that's nice. It's kind of hard to tell in a game like this, so that's why I'm just doing this first, and then we're gonna go into Bowser's Fury, because in the Switch 1 handheld mode, if you remember, is 30 FPS, whereas in this one it should be 60. So yeah, it looks good. It should be HDR, so the colors are brighter and whatnot. 1080p in handheld mode, still 60 FPS. Docked mode might look a little bit better, might be like 1440p, but let's go look at that on the Switch 1. It'll be looking a little softer, but should look still pretty good overall. It's just 720p and a 720p screen, especially considering how much smaller this screen is. But yeah, I can definitely tell the aliasing on like the back of Luigi's head. It's hard to see on here, but yeah, it's still feeling a little softer. Colors are a little muted in comparison. I'm not just saying that to be, oh, this would shoot so much better. No, it actually looks like the HDR. Actually, yeah, it does make a difference on here. It definitely looks a lot better on Switch 2 color-wise. And yeah, it's much clearer at 1080p, but yeah. So nice little bump there. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bowser's Fury. Why is this being difficult? Okay. Take a look at Bowser's Fury and see how that looks on both systems. That one will be a little bit more noticeable since, like I said, Switch 1 is 30 FPS and this one should be 60 to match the main game. My thing's gonna fall over. Load test again. I think I started this one first, actually. Let's see what happens. This always took a little bit longer to load. It's a little bit of a bigger thing going on. Come on, I know you can do it. Okay, I don't want to drag the video out. I'll just resume when it loads. This actually takes a while. Okay, it finally loaded. It didn't even load that much faster. But oh my gosh, the HDR color on here looks amazing. Whew. Super Saiyan Mario's never looked better. So it's 1080p, it's 60 FPS, yep, just like docked play. Now it has HDR and handheld as well, so looks really, really good. Yeah. Whew. This is a good new way to play the game. I'm gonna have to replay 3D World as well, because man, this looks. I'm looking at this the camera; it still just looks great. That's how that looks, and then we'll look at Switch 1 here, and it's 30 FPS. Like I said, hard to tell these things on here, but hold on, let me get to somewhere. Wow, this looks awful when you look at 60 and you go back to looking at 30, it looks like 20 frames per second. It is not even close. The colors never look bad on here, but like I said, they're definitely more muted compared to the HDR one now. So yeah, this looks this is a much better, bigger difference than I thought it would be, man. This looks really good on Switch 2. But yeah, 720p, 30 FPS on here. Not a bad way to play the game, but just like the aliasing as well. Looks way, way better on Switch 2. Whew. It's a good looking game. Nice and smooth now. I mean, you should be able to see the smoothness on the camera, but HDR as well. Whew. Okay. That's all for the handheld of that. Let's move on to the next game. Something I always noticed about Super Mario Odyssey is it kind of took a while to load. And I kind of want to see how fast it loads on here now in comparison. Oh, definitely faster. Game share now available as well. Okay, gonna go resume. And I'm gonna go to New Donk City. We're already there. Okay. So this game was already 1080p 60 FPS max on Switch 1 in docked play. This game had a lot of dynamic resolution scaling, however, so now it should be in handheld like a locked 1080 60. I think it has HDR support on here as well. Definitely still a lot of aliasing on those buildings back there. If you see like the shimmering, that's what I'm talking about aliasing, like right here. So, I mean, it looks like 1080p. Looks pretty sharp. Colors are good and everything. This game never bothered me on Switch 1. Oh, wow. Looking at the resolution now, it looks so pixelated. I don't think I normally typically look at it this close, but yeah, wow, hold on. It does look, I thought it looked, oh yeah, it's 1080p, but no, man. This might be lower than 720p. New Donk City was one of the higher pushing ones, because this is handheld mode, so it could go lower to like, I don't know what resolution, Digital Foundry, consult them, but yeah, you can see the aliasing a lot more. Mario is a lot more pixely looking, whereas on Switch 2, he's a lot more clean looking, because 1080p is at 60. So yeah, that's a quick little comparison. Mario Odyssey is a nice little improvement, not like a huge deal, but you know, definitely a nice little one, still worth replaying. I think the docked comparisons are gonna look a lot better on more like subtle games like Mario Odyssey. So next game. Okay, so New Super Mario Bros. Is obviously not a super intensive graphic game. It does load faster, as you saw there. It'll probably look nicer with HDR, I imagine, though. Nice, like, very colorful pop game. See how that looks. Always plays Luigi, even in New Super Mario Bros. Mario who? More like Luigi you. Sorry. Okay. Go on to Switch 1, do the same thing. Like I said, even in I'm trying to do this in handheld mode because I feel like 720p versus 1080p is more noticeable versus 1080 1440, but it kind of depends on display and scaling and all that. But yeah, immediately you can tell in the world map this is going to be 720p and 60. It's not HDR, so the colors might look more muted, whereas on here, New Super Mario Bros. Might actually look a little bit colorful because HDR. The 1080p as well, looking really nice. This feels like what it is to go from a Switch 1 to a Switch OLED, holy moly. Yeah, this game looks so vibrant now. Because I have an HDR TV too, so looking forward to seeing how that looks, but holy moly. This looks like nice, you know, 1080p. The HDR, the colors nice and sharp and everything. Let's take a look on Switch 1. I really wish my Switch worked with my Joy-Cons on the side, but this is why I have a Switch 2. It doesn't work very well. This game has always looked pretty good, resolution-wise. It's like, even without HDR, it's still a pretty vibrant, colorful game. I'm trying to look at Luigi, see any aliasing, 720p. It's really hard to tell if this game, the difference in resolution. It obviously is higher on Switch 2. It's just not, it is not noticeable at all. I'm not seeing like hardly anything. It was more noticeable on the world map. Yeah, I mean, maybe it looks a little bit clearer. That might be a placebo effect. I think the HDR makes a bigger difference, frankly. But yeah, New Super Mario Bros. Looks a little bit different. Odyssey, I think, even looked more different. 3D World especially. But two more games I want to test. Or actually, there's still a few more. But let's go to Mario Wonder next. We're just clearing out the Marios. Problem with Mario Wonder, I only got one copy here to try to test this, so I can't really do a side-by-side comparison with the other ones, but I'll try to compare them. Okay, so once again, this is a game that already looks good on Switch 1, even in handheld mode. Let's try to go to the map and try to compare like the first level. Mario Wonder, also I haven't made a video on that yet. I'll have to get to that, but yeah, like I said, really good looking, really vibrant. Like even on a Switch 1 screen, this game looks super good. Um, and this didn't get a free update, if you're wondering why I'm comparing it. It did not get a free update, or it wasn't on the upgrade list, but it did get an update on Switch 2. So I'm just trying to see if it's like New Super Mario Bros. It's probably not going to be noticeable if there is any difference, but I don't know. I mean, this game just looks good. 720p, non-HDR. Just look at it here. It looks good. Let's see how it looks on Switch 2. Okay, here we are. I think the most noticeable difference, once again, is going to be vibrant colors. Even though it's already a vibrant game, HDR just helps uh, really showcase that in the game. You know, it looks really nice. Let's go to World 1. I think the 1080p in handheld and HDR really make the difference. For the most part, HDR is really selling me on like the colors. If you had an OLED switch, it probably would be less noticeable, but the HDR for me is like a huge deal. Yeah. Overall, this still looks good. Obviously, Mario Wonder is already a good looking game. Um, this is basically if you're playing docked. I think what this might do actually, now that I think about it, this update might be like running the docked mode in handheld. So this should be 1080 60 instead of 720 60, which I feel like it would just run anyway, but that's like officially supported. So that's their little update they did. I feel like they would do more for Wonder. We might get a Switch 2 edition, but we'll see. But yeah, it looks good. I think the HDR makes a bigger difference than anything, but it doesn't look super different from Switch 1. It just looks a little bit better. So definitely one of the little more subtle games. We'll see how 3D All-Stars looks. This is the last one for the video. I know it's getting kind of long, but I just wanted to see all these differences. Well, in terms of games that had an update, this would be the last one. Because Metroid Prime, I want to see with like test the game without an update, see if there's any difference like that. But let's see in a second here. Okay, so this one I'm not even going to bother showing Switch 1 because Mario 64 is 720p normally. Mario Sunshine is 1080p and docked. They're all so 720, 1080, 1080 and docked. So let's look at Galaxy. I feel like HDR would look the nicest on this game. Mario 64 and Sunshine are 30 FPS. This game is 60 FPS. Only real difference between handheld and dock would be 720p and 1080p, but for Mario 64, it's already 720 no matter what, so you don't really lose anything. Looks pretty clear. Definitely. Ooh, actually, I think yeah. So this game did get an update, but does this look like 1080p in handheld? I don't know. It might still be 720p. It feels like it's definitely more noticeable in the other games. When I was looking at, it, I'm like, oh yeah, this definitely looks like 1080p. Maybe it's just lack of aliasing, but like this looks very pixely. You can definitely see it on the camera. I feel like other games didn't look as much so. The HDR looks good, I think, because it should force HDR in every game, even if it's not natively supported. So I think the non-upgrade games just mean it's so it works properly on Switch 2, perhaps. And if not, then it wouldn't work or something. Because I'm not sure if that's 1080p. It definitely looks like it could be lower. So maybe it is running in the normal handheld mode. I don't know. But let's look at Mario Sunshine. That would be a better way to tell since the game is like 1080 30 normally. So more stark difference. Mario Galaxy looks good no matter what, frankly, but I think HDR, like I said, on these games is going to be the more noticeable, less subtle difference between the two, if you notice anything. So, Mario Sunshine. I'd probably replay these games anyway on here just because I want to. Yeah, it's definitely still 30 FPS. I think the screen, like I said, HDR should look pretty good though overall. Definitely not enhanced to be a higher frame rate or anything. Not like I expected to. It's going to be on NSO, so yeah, it's still got that weird heat effect. Is it 1080p though? I don't know. It could also, like I said, be 720p. It looks a little more pixely. This really isn't the best way to play Mario Sunshine. It's a way to play it. So yeah, I don't really know on that one. That one had an update, but it seems less noticeable. Whereas Mario Wonder, it feels like it looks a little bit cleaner, maybe. But one more game. I know the video is really long. We're just gonna take a look at Metroid Prime Remastered. See if it looks. It didn't get an update or anything. It should just be natively running in whatever it would normally. So 720p handheld and 1080p or 900p docked, both 60 FPS. Oh man, Metroid Prime on a screen like this, bro. Just wait till Metroid Prime 4 is on here and 120 hertz. Oh my gosh, is it gonna look good? Let's just go in the Chozo Ruins one. But yeah, yeah, I'm just so excited for like free updates of games, like minus the Switch 2 like paid upgrades or whatever. I just want to see like nice little improvements that make the game worth replaying. So far, Pokemon has been easily the most noticeable. 3D World is pretty noticeable though. I've seen from what we've seen here, but I think Odyssey is a nice little improvement. Okay, let's see. Metroid Prime always looks good no matter what, but let's see. It's kind of hard to tell if it's 720p or 1080. But I feel like if, like I said, if it looks more pixely, it's probably 720 in handheld still. It's kind of a dark area. But just look at the arm cannon here. Definitely looks a little pixely. I mean, everything will be when you zoom it in, but I definitely think that's 720p, not 900. Digital Foundry is going to have to make a video to confirm all these. But yeah, let me know what you think of all these improvements in the comments, or which game you want to play first with improvements, and I will catch you in the next one because this video is really long. I will make a separate video for docked if you want to see the differences, so stay tuned.